Let me start with that first topic, which is the overdraft facility on home loans. For the uninitiated and those that don't understand, myself included, can you explain what this means?
Sure. It's a name we've always heard, which is the home loan overdraft facility, but I had to do my research before I came on this show. So essentially, it's an account where you can park your surplus funds, and that is connected to and set off against your outstanding home loan principal. So let me just explain this with an example so you can understand the benefit and you can also understand what the catch is. So let's say you have a 50 lakh home loan outstanding, and let's say you take a home loan overdraft facility and you have 5 lakhs in extra funds and you put that 5 lakhs in that overdraft facility. Your principal is considered to be 50 minus 5, only 45 lakhs when the interest is calculated on your home loan. So you get the benefit of your surplus funds reducing your outstanding home loan principal. But Alex, there's one catch. You typically end up paying 0.25% higher interest rate if you take a home loan overdraft facility. So let's say a regular home loan today is at 8%, right? And with the repo rate falling for the very first time, we're going to start to see home loans below 8% in India in the last 5 years. For your home loan overdraft account, you're going to end up paying a 8.25% interest. So that's the catch you have to watch out for.
Okay. And obviously, there are significant benefits to prepaying your loan. How does this compare to a prepayment of a loan? Because like you mentioned, there is a higher interest that you're paying, but one would assume that if you have a sizable amount that you park in this overdraft facility, it reduces the principal as you explained, and so therefore the interest cost should dramatically reduce, right?
Yeah, so like with everything in life, there's a give and a take with every choice we make. So what happens over here is that in a prepayment, your outstanding principal immediately gets reduced. In fact, we aggressively advise, we say if you have money, excess money, always prepay your home loan, right? And the classic example, Alex, is if you just prepay 5% of your outstanding principal every year, a 20-year home loan is done in 12 years. Now, the difference between this overdraft, right, is once you prepay, you can't ask for that money back, right? So let's take the example we're working with. I have 5 lakhs in surplus, right? Now, I put it into the overdraft account. Now, if I want the 5 lakhs back, if that was a classic prepayment, the bank is going to say, hey, you prepaid, I can't give you 5 lakhs back. But with a home loan overdraft facility, now that 5 lakhs is now available for me to take out if I want, and my home loan balance will go back to 50 lakhs. So this kind of product works well for people where they have a lot of money moving in and out of their account. They don't have time to move this money into a classic fixed deposit. And keep in mind, you're using this excess capital to reduce the outstanding principal on a home loan, and the home loan overdraft is at 8.25%, while an FD would have earned you just 7%. So there are certain advantages, but like with every decision, there are certain disadvantages. So the advantage is you have liquidity, so you can take that prepayment back, which you can't do with a classic prepayment. But the cost is, instead of now paying only 8% on your home loan, you're now paying 8.25%.
I can see some potential advantages here, Adil, in that you are often told to keep an emergency fund, and if you have a pretty large mortgage, as a lot of people do, you can actually use this as your emergency fund, because you're not talking about buying your groceries using this overdraft facility, right? You're looking at parking your excess funds, stuff that you don't need immediately. So is that an appropriate use of this facility?
Yeah, that's a great use of this facility, Alex, because if you just take stick with the example we're working with, you have a 50 lakh home loan and you just put a 5 lakh emergency fund on the overdraft, right? Even with the difference between 8% and 8.25%, you might be better off, right? With the overdraft facility. But I think the devil is in the detail. So, you need to see exactly how much money you can set aside, how much you're deferring. So I do believe there are certain use cases, but it's a fairly involved calculation that needs to be done person by person.
Last couple of questions on this subject, which is, can you opt to change midway through a normal mortgage into this overdraft facility, or is it a completely separate product that you have to migrate to? And second, if you have this overdraft facility, Adil, can you prepay that loan?
On the first point, this is a different facility. So like I said, it has a different interest rate, it has different terms and conditions. So it's set up as a different facility. You can always refinance from one to the other, but that amounts from moving to one account to another account. In terms of prepayment, yes, you can choose to prepay, but that's done as a classic prepayment that would happen on any loan. And that prepayment won't be available. That liquidity would no longer be available to you, Alex.
Okay. No. So the question was, let's talk about an example, right? We talked about 50 lakh loan or principal, and you're saying you're parking 5 lakh in this overdraft. So to that extent, your interest is charged on a principal of 45 lakh in this case. But you have, say, you get a bonus of 2 lakh rupees, and you say you don't want to park that as well into the overdraft facility. You want to reduce your principal by 2 lakh in a shot. Can you do that?
Yes, you can. So you can choose to prepay also, independent of the overdraft. So that standard facility with a home loan, you could choose to use.
Okay, so fantastic. And I think we've talked about the pros and cons of both. You need to review what works for you. And it's a simple mathematical calculation, I think, that you can go through because you will be paying a higher charge, as Adil pointed out, for the overdraft facility.